is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Dude, 10 weeks almost in the books. We do record this prior to the Eagles beating the snot out of the Commanders. If I'm wrong, I'll look foolish tomorrow, but I'm going to go with the odds on here based upon living in Redskin Commander land, Washington football team land for, the entirety of my life, that there's a good chance they're going to get obliterated tonight. Do you agree?
Chance, but you never know. I mean, it's NFL, crazy things happen. I mean, I'm on a kind of a positive note today. I won my first DFS fantasy league contest yesterday. So
You won the big pot?
yeah, I won the big pot. So I was pretty excited about that. I mean, I had Justin Fields. I think Jeff Wilson was in there. Rondale Moore helping me out. So yeah, I mean, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I hate DFS. I'm done with DFS. DFS can eat my butt.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it either, but I won one, so it kind of makes me feel a little better about it.
I love DFS. I'm terrible at it. A guy I work with, his good buddy, don't know if I told you, he won the $500,000 moneymaker last Monday night. I was like, holy moly.
I mean, I started with my typical strategy that I usually use in DFS. I quickly realized playing DFS every week that strategy wasn't working out. So I had to switch to something else, and it's been pretty productive. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. You got to figure it out for yourself.
It's called play Justin Fields and hope he stays good. I know what the strategy is. But we're the Fantasy Couriers. You can hit us up anywhere and everywhere they have podcasts. You want to send us a message, Facebook, we reply a whole bunch on there. I did tell someone not to play Christian Kirk. Oopsie, sorry. But that's the way it goes. I always tell everybody, a lot of the comments end with, the one I don't pick is the one that's going to happen. And some people are like, yep, that's how it goes for me every week too. So we do our best. You can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Pop messages in the YouTube comments on the website, and we'll respond to you. That's what we're here for. But we're going to start. I got 2 words for you. I don't know if you're going to get into it, but I'm just excited on the beginning of the week to say Jeff Saturday made me proud. I did not see that coming, but I love Jeff Saturday.
We'll talk about it. We'll be able to fit it in somewhere.
Okay, well then, without further ado, JJ Wang, guess what?
Weekend review. What happened? What do we think? What does it mean?
Yeah, so typically how this starts, we go back, do our typical, well, I want to say this would be the last time I say it, but shout outs and boo yous. But there's been some copyright stuff that I want to take care of before it gets too far. So I'm going to have to skip that segment. I'll bring it back next week. We'll do a grand unveiling, a new name, new everything. We'll just kind of like start all over with it. We'll definitely keep in boo you. I mean, I kind of like that. So instead,
I'm how to type it. I don't know. I'm sitting there making the things going, how do I write boo you? Like boo yous? That's not even a word.
Yeah, but we can make things up. That's a great thing. So I'm gonna bring back an old favorite, one that we did last year. With Pleasure and Pain. Got some. I don't have any really into top guys today because we all know, they're supposed to bring you pleasure. Do got some of them in the pain, because they do bring a lot of pain. So first, we'll get the Colts talk out of the way quick. Matt Ryan somehow back to being the starter. Offense looks better. And evidently, Jeff Saturday is a good coach, right?
Evidently, Jeff Saturday is a freaking liar. That's all he is. Ellinger was supposed to start. I was excited. I got a starter. Then all of a sudden, everyone's like, hey, look, Matt Ryan's there.
Yeah, what? So are we trusting Matt Ryan?
No.
No.
Fool me once. A lot this year. If you told me it was last year, yeah, of course I'm trusting Matt Ryan. This week, nope. He's got to do me a couple weeks in a row. I mean, I don't have him or need him, so I'm not too worried about it. But no, not at all.
All right. Next guy's a guy not on a great offensive team, but somehow he managed to pull a top 10 quarterback, and that's Ryan Tannehill. I'm not really sure how to do it. Evidently, from what I've seen, that game was kind of dreadful. We'll get to a couple other people from that game later on, but are you trusting Ryan Tannehill, or you still don't really want to start him?
He is what he is. There's a gaggle of people that are game managers. Ryan Tannehill, you might have to trust some coming up because of bye weeks, but no, still not trusting Ryan Tannehill. In my rankings, he still is usually about 26, 27. I mean, you're not going to have all of those surefire ways to touchdowns from his team like you had this week, because that's a handful of surefire ways of a touchdown as far as I'm concerned, because those should have went Derrick Henry, who we'll talk
Next
about
guy,
him later, I'm sure.
yeah. So the next guy is Marcus Mariota coming off the terrible game last week, back up to another top 12 game this week. So are you like trusting him at all? I mean,
One,
kind of starting, right?
I'll be honest. I don't care after this week. I need him this week because Tua's on bye. After that, put in Ritter all you want. Just don't make the call this week. Whatever you do, I am begging the Atlanta Falcons organization. Give me 1 week since Ellinger is no longer a starting quarterback. I have no backups not named Mariota, so I need him this week. I need just one more. But I don't want to trust him. But if you he's so what? Quarterback 23 if you had to rank him on Superflex. So you're playing him in a Superflex 12-team league.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Superflex is pretty much a must start, but you're feeling sick every time you put him in there because he might get 2 points. I mean, he proved that. He's proved this several times. All right, switching over to the running backs. Donta Foreman, big game, bad game. Now another big game. He's pretty much a locked and loaded RB, right?
Yeah, you got to play him. You got to know he's still Deonta Foreman. I thought there'd be more. It's interesting because they were pushing a little more Chuba was gonna, then that puttered out. I started Chuba because I had to, because I had Zeke and my other option was Chuba, and that I was like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden, 31 rushes from Deonta Foreman. I mean, the thing is, the bad news for Foreman owners, just so you know, his 2 biggest games have been against the Falcons, and that's the only time they're going to play the Falcons. So now you got to just hope he plays good against other teams that aren't located in Georgia.
All right, next guy, James Conner, come out of nowhere again. Not a great rushing day, but it did have the 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's obviously at least a flex play, right?
I was sitting there as I'm looking for people I had this weird, I never talked about him anywhere, but I'm sitting there looking over rosters like, man, I need a filler spot. And I almost threw out some trades for Connor this week, and I saw that and I was like, too late.
Yeah, but if you don't get those touchdowns, you're in trouble because he's not going to give you much else.
Yeah, but who else is going to score him?
Yeah, you're right. So the next guy's like a combo situation here. We got Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. Are we trusting both of those guys, or are we just trusting one?
You're trusting neither of those guys. I mean, you're having to play them because running back is just so brutalized and dreadful. I mean, what they really are in real life, they give my team hope. They both looked really good, actually. Jeff Wilson, they put in longer later. I mean, you got to trust Jeff Wilson over Raheem Mostert because he got double the carries, and he looked so strong running. But
I mean,
7 and 8 yards per carry is.
I think honestly, at this point, you have to trust Jeff Wilson. I mean, he come from another team 2 weeks ago and is already taken over the RB1 spot and producing, and obviously an offense that they want, enjoy running the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta trust Wilson, and Mostert is kind of iffy.
What I would suggest this week that you bench them both.
Oh yeah, obviously
because they're on bye.
Yeah,
you got to play them both if there's bye weeks. Like if Mostert's still getting 8 yards to carry, and they're both. But it depends. You just got to watch matchups coming soon because they said from the beginning of the game that they wanted to run against the Browns because the Browns are putrid against the run. So
makes sense. That's a good philosophy. All right, moving over to the wide receivers, we're gonna start this one off with a bang. We got Christian Watson popping off for 3 touchdowns.
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
I don't think that's a waste of a touchdown at all because somewhere in some leagues, some people had to start that guy somewhere.
Those guys are in last place.
Somebody.
That's why they're playing them.
Hey, they counted for somebody, didn't they? All right, but I mean, what's your trust factor in this? At least Aaron Rodgers seems to enjoy him, and he can seem to get open downfield.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be about right now. He's right 50%. If I had him anywhere, I mean, you got to play him next week, I think, because of the production there. Like Aaron Rodgers might be like, oh, look, this guy can catch the ball because apparently I don't like Alan Lazard like I loved him before. And I like rookies because I'm a liar.
I mean, Romeo Doubs got his shot in the beginning of the season. He had some drops. He just wasn't great. And he didn't perform all that great. And now he's hurt. Christian Watson steps in. And like I said, he's got to throw. He only threw the ball 20 times. But, I mean, if he's getting bombs down the field, I mean, he's pretty fast, dude.
Yeah, I mean, sending them down the field and yeah. Oh, wow. I forgot they won.
All right, so the next guy is my favorite and yours, and I'm sure everybody else. Gabe Davis decided to pop up out of nowhere. Call him the new, like I said, the new Tyler Lockett, who also kind of disappeared.
He popped out for a touchdown.
All right. I mean, are you still starting Davis every week, or are you just kind of like,
I have to.
yeah?
I have a team where I have to start him. So it's one of those, like, I think it's with most receivers that aren't those top five, like Stephon Diggs, is going to give you money. Tyreek, is going to give you money. Even is that it? And Justin Jefferson, are going to give you money then tomorrow when he's back. Other than that, guys could lay some super. I mean, Justin Jefferson laid an egg, so they wanted to show off. This was a game where I still can't believe Josh Allen, like his in real life, he still threw for 330 yards with an if my elbow was what apparently the injury he had, and he
Well, you
still
know
that
what?
ball was flying.
I'm not blaming that elbow on that terrible interception that he threw
No,
in the
it was
end zone.
terrible.
That was just, what
I could have
are
caught that by
you
myself.
doing, dude? That
Yeah.
can't. You cannot. I mean, you got to throw that away. But hey, you're Josh Allen. You're in the NFL. Do whatever you want.
What's ironic? Him and Kirk Cousins have basically the same stat line.
Oh yeah.
330 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 357, 1 and 2. That's crazy.
Next guy, I guess you could probably put a rocket to the back of this guy. That's Kadarius Toney. Juju might be out. McCall Hardman's out. I mean, Toney made a couple good catches. Second week in the offense, he's already involved. They're going to have to give him the ball some more. So Josh, I mean, of course, Pat Mahomes is crazy good. So what we got?
Oh, I like Kadarius Toney. I have him, I traded for him in the offseason in one league, and because I was like, dude, Tony's the most talented guy on the team he was on, and now put the most talented guy on that team onto a team that passes a lot. I mean, he's still this week. He looked great, but he slated in as a wide receiver 3. I love that hop into the end zone. That was hilarious to watch him just hop, hop, hop when he was like at the 5-yard line. He didn't have to, but he's just being a wise guy. But I mean, yeah, he's locked and loaded. Scantlin had more yards by 3, but he had more. So I mean, it's Travis Kelce's show, so it's just hoping. Mahomes did say this was going to happen. I mean, McKinnon had 56 stinking yards. He just didn't have a touchdown, or else he had the same stat line almost as Toney. So you're playing him because most people start 3 or 4 wide receivers, and if you're getting catches, it probably hurts McCall Hardman, who's going to be hurt.
Yeah. It's going, it's going to be him and Juju. It's going to hurt everybody. I mean, if he's getting catches, because it's not going to hurt Kelsey, it's going to hurt everybody else. So we'll move over to tight ends. Keep as little time as possible on this. The first tight end, we're going to take this one over to the Justin Fields show. I didn't bring up Justin Fields, but this guy is absolutely murdering it right now. Like another 100. He might set the record for most rushing yards in a season. I mean, we're on crazy, crazy pace right here. I mean, he throws a pick 6, turns around, drops like a 60-yard touchdown, just outruns everybody. It was pretty impressive. But I'm going to go with the tight end. Komet, he seems to be getting a lot of touchdowns, getting a lot of looks. This is like a top guy right now, right?
Is Cole Komet jumping into that trio you had? Is he him and Goddard and Freiermuth now?
I'm going to replace Pitts with Komet.
Yeah, I loved him coming in. I thought with the type of run, if you think about Justin Fields having the Lamar Jackson type of game, Lamar's favorite player is Mark Andrews. Patrick Mahomes' favorite player is Travis Kelce. If you're going to be a guy that has some wheels, Patrick doesn't run as much, but you need to look at that tight end because he's going to be the guy right there. If you just said, "Oh, I'm not going to run," doop, and Komet was pooping the bed for the first part of the year. Like I traded for him in my startup league this year, and earlier in the year, I was like, "Dude," and he was a key cog, and everybody's coming after him now because in that league they're all Bears.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's even better. They're all Bears fans too. But he's got to be good for them to be successful, and his tight end premiums, yeah. But yeah, Cole Komet has the pedigree. I see it going forward. I mean, he's got to be at top 5. I haven't looked at my rankings, but got to be top 5 this week.
After this game, it probably cements him as a top 5 pretty much for the season. So that's the last tight end. Since I don't like him too much, that's the only tight end that I'm giving y'all because I didn't stay.
And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room.
And that's not all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
And just in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of 10 or more dollars, deposit 100, get 100 free.
And with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today, and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now back to the podcast.
All right, switching over to the pain aspect of life, because you can't have pleasure without a little bit of pain. And Russell Wilson has got to be the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. That's worth $250 million.
Dante Culpepper. He got
No,
some-
this is Dante. This is worse than Dante Culpepper.
Oh, Jamarcus Russell.
Marcus, but he was a number one pick, and he wasn't worth $250 million. Garbage, right?
I mean, it's funny, as bad as it looked for him still to put up 286 and a touchdown. Like you're like, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, like Cortland Sutton looks. He still doesn't look great. I love someone put up like Cortland Sutton got the Devil's number, 6 catches for 66 yards.
You can't look great with Russell Wilson as your quarterback right now. It's pretty much impossible.
Isn't it amazing? Go back and listen to our podcast in August as to how great Russell Wilson's going to be. In other words, just enjoy us and have fun with us, because we know nothing. We thought Wilson was going to be pretty good.
I thought he was going to be good. You thought he was going to be great.
Yeah, dude.
But everybody thought that. Nobody thought this. I mean, let's be real. All right, next guy is a guy that nobody thought about either was Justin Herbert. Another not good game. That's multiple games in a row. I know he's got the injured ribs. He's lost his receivers. Eckler didn't have a good game. But, I mean, Herbert is kind of scary, right?
Who was that guy that was drafted one pick before Justin Herbert in that draft that everybody hated and thought was total garbage?
Let's be real. Everybody, even Dolphins fan, hated that guy. So
nope, I'm the only one. I'm one of the 7 people that have been aboard. I did not want Herbert. I wanted Tua.
We're not talking. I like how you was able to get Tua up in here, which is
he's killing it.
That's fine. So are a lot of quarterbacks. We can talk about Tua every week, but I mean,
we should.
There is other people. So Justin Herbert, not good. I mean, scared. Or you?
I got a Justin Herbert share, and it's I still won, thank goodness. But man, you know who's worse than Justin Herbert? Did you watch Chase Daniel in for those 3 plays? He looked like he'd never played football in his life.
Yes, I can agree that Chase Daniel is probably worse than Justin Herbert.
Like it was I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, it's right before halftime. Chase Daniel, I've seen him play before. He's a decent player. He's not great, but he's gonna get them, I watched him in Missouri all the way. They're gonna go, they might get 10 yards. Dude looked like a deer in headlights. He's like, oh, I'm not supposed to play this game. He's like, I'm collecting my giant checks because he's made a boat ton of money not playing football.
Oh yeah, career backup. I mean,
1,800 total yards in his career is what I saw. I was like, wow, I thought he had a couple more, but he looked blind. Yeah, Herbert. I mean, that's one of the guys I'll hold off judgment. Like Wilson stinks, and I don't know what he can do to turn it around. Herbert gets Mike Williams back next week. So if he has Mike Williams, I don't know what's going on with Josh Palmer. I kind of wish I'd have pulled off that trade for Debo, but he didn't look great either. But Josh Palmer, if you get Josh Palmer on one side, you get they like DeAndre Carter and Mike Williams. You got 3 serviceable receivers. Then it's gonna fall more on Herbert. But yeah, I don't know what's like that team should have been silly good too.
Yeah. But as they said, their top two wide receivers are injured. So I mean there is a little built in.
Oh, Keenan, does he even count as their top 2 receiver anymore? Is he gonna ever play football again?
All right. So switching over to running backs. So we got 3 right here. We got Derrick Henry, not typically doesn't have a bad game, but kind of stunk it up. We got DeAndre Swift. Lord knows what's going on with him. At least he was able to get a touchdown. And then we got Alvin Kamara, a stinker coming off. So, everybody's back being high on him. And then he throws this in. I mean, you're still starting all these guys. Yeah. But you got to point them out when they have a bad game.
Yeah. I'd say of the 3, the only one I'm not that doesn't concern me would be the Titans running back, Derrick Henry, because you're looking at Swift. Part of his stink is because his team is terrible. He hasn't shown and he's hurt. Kamara is a great running back, but that team is pretty terrible. They put up like they just look bad.
But to be fair, Tennessee's team, well, their defense isn't terrible, but that offense is pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, but the offense is Derrick Henry. So I mean, the team is still as a whole. That team,
Yeah,
I mean,
somehow.
yeah, they're winning and they're successful and they're doing what they got to. And I mean, the offense is not built around Tannehill. The offense won't for the next couple of years. If it's Malik Willis, won't be built around him. They'll give him a couple of years to look terrible like Tannehill, and then right as Derrick Henry falls off, he'll learn to run like Justin Fields. I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they ugh. But they're still 6-3.
Oh
It's
yeah, I mean it's amazing what Tennessee. You gotta give them their props. I mean they
yeah,
never look good, but I
well
mean
coached.
they always manage to be there. So switching over to wide receivers, we got Debo, as you mentioned, not a good game on his way back. Cooper Cup got injured, but not a good game. Hopefully that's okay. And then Chase Claypool, I mean at some point you gotta if you're brought you in for a deep field threat, I mean catch get some looks, right? I mean you're not. I mean, you feel like you just jump in and play wide receiver at some point.
So is every receiver on the Bears going to be like every receiver on the Ravens?
I feel like it's a model situation to look after. I mean, it's pretty much gone the same way. I mean, think about it. The Ravens at the peak of the Lamar Jackson era, the Ravens were the number one rushing team. Who is the number one rushing team right now? The
The
Bears.
Bears.
All right. The
Not very
Ravens had a top 5 tight end just killing it every week. What do the Bears have? Like a top 5 tight end that's starting to kill it every week. Receivers that don't do anything because we don't throw it to them. Who else has that? The Chicago Bears. Like literally the exact same formula, and it works. I mean, well, it's helping them, it makes them look better.
Yeah, I mean they're building. I mean the Ravens had more around Lamar, so the Bears just have to put those other pieces in there. But I mean, they did lose to the Lions. That stinks.
But I mean, like I said, I don't care if
How
they
did I
win.
miss? Like I'm missing who wins and loses. That's the crazy thing about fantasy. I didn't realize the
But
Lions
just
won.
let Fields just run around and I mean, it's fun to watch. Now, is it long term? I mean, I don't know. Let's ask Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's not crazy as he was a few years back. So I mean, at some point, you're going to have to throw the ball more than you run. I feel like to
Yeah.
keep your career long.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go to the one tight end that I want to point out, and that's George Kittle. Guessing he spent most of his time blocking because he's such a great blocker. I mean, we all enjoy watching George Kittle out there to block because that's what we draft him to do. But I feel like that offense, nobody really produced. McCaffrey was okay. It kind of worries me.
I don't know. He shot up last week. It could have been because the Chargers do have a good inside 7, so it could be a part of that.
So hear me out. What if we created a stat in fantasy that adds in a good block here and there? Like, right? Because it is productive for
he's player 1. He's better than Josh Allen.
What if we get a half a point for a block or something? Like they gotta do something. It's stupid tight end.
Yeah, I do want to say this is a pain within the pleasure. Was that your last guy? I got one that a pleasure that no one saw coming, but I'm sure no one played. It didn't help a lot, but Eli Mitchell coming off of off of his injury ends up getting more yards and carries than Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's better in fantasy because he had 4 for 39 receiving and a touchdown on 38 yards rushing. But Eli Mitchell, 18 for 89. Does that make Christian McCaffrey kind of a worry that he could become a pain if we did pleasure and pain again later in the season with Eli Mitchell?
I think this eliminates Deebo Samuel from the equation altogether pretty much. Because I mean, now McCaffrey is Deebo Samuel. He is that guy. Obviously Eli Mitchell's a better runner than Deebo. So really the Deebo and McCaffrey kind of play that same position that what makes McCaffrey or Deebo so valuable. If he's not getting it, Debo's really not that valuable. And I feel like they kind of overpaid. They're paying this guy a lot of money for less. Don't get me wrong. I paid as much.
Monopoly.
I really don't care. But I'm just far like you paid this guy, and then you're not going to really use him like you thought you were going to pay. But hey, do whatever. But I think this hurts Deebo a lot.
It's what's interesting though is did you know Deebo had only 11 yards less than Christian McCaffrey on 10 less carries. So
Yes,
he's still got. I mean, he'll still get some runs, but yeah, I agree. I thought
like I
Christian
said,
McCaffrey's hurting Debo all the way around, but
I
I
mean,
was
it's going to hurt.
Eli
Obviously, it's
Mitchell.
going
That
to.
was a shock.
Yeah, it's going to hurt everybody because I get they like Mitchell. He's a good runner, and as long as he stays healthy, it's obvious he's going to be involved in. And I guess it helps McCaffrey by not getting pounded all the time, so they can keep him.
That's what I hear. The theory is
Yeah.
they don't want to hurt McCaffrey. But yeah,
Right.
and I did have to thank Juwan Jennings. I woke up, I wiped out. I wasn't feeling great. I was like, oh, congested and sneezing. And I was like, oh, then I woke up and I'm like, hey, I won some DraftKings money on my 50-50 showcase. And apparently it was Juwan Jennings that did it for me. So
Yeah, I guess he's the best receiver in New Orleans, evidently.
apparently.
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
Okay, this week we got some interesting names. One that really excites me because it's one of my favorite positions in football. But we're gonna start on the Thursday night game. This guy's been on the list a couple times, so this might be, or maybe once. This is probably his last foray. I can't use him, but he's still not rostered. Nobody has this guy on their roster. But let's start with Marcus Mariota, 25-yard touchdown pass. Kyle Pitts is finally going to start balling out. No, he still stinks. Oh, Drake London bounced. He did, but this wasn't his touchdown. Daryl Hodge with another touchdown. He's looking like he might be liked by Mariota, so this is probably his last time for giving us a
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, didn't even know that guy's still playing in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple. Like, I think he's going to pop up with some really bad teams in fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to my game of the week. Tua threw a touchdown, 13 yards to the out of the backfield. Oh, baby, there's Jeffrey Wilson. Nope. Oh, I know who it is. It's probably a little short thing to Hill. No. Oh, yeah, my favorite position in football. Fullback. Alec Ingold with a 13-yard touchdown pass. Yeah, that's still a
Surefire waste of a touchdown. But I mean, hey, they like that guy. That guy's a pretty positive player.
Oh, I love this signing. Fullbacks are a missed thing in football. You look at the teams that have successful running attacks, they have a decent fullback there or a really fast dude. But another one from that game, and my theory this week was I'm going to stack Tua and Hill and Waddle and try to win DFS. That didn't work because of this 14-yard touchdown pass to the wide receiver. None of those guys. Trent Sherfield, who I know because I watch the games, but nobody else does unless you're a 49ers fan, because that's where he came from. Another 49er to the Miami, but he gave us a definite
Surefire waste of a touchdown. That guy's gonna be picked up a lot.
Oh, I'm sure he's if you watch him, he's a good real life. He's been hitting some good spots, but fantasy, nah. And now we're gonna go to the game of the year, the game of the week. Everybody is saying. I still think the playoff game between the Bills and the Chiefs was a really, really good game. This was a good game. But I think that one was still better. But we have a 3-yard touchdown run by the Vikings. Oh, it looks like. Oh, wait, that's not Dalvin Cook. Maybe Madison does something. No. Oh, yeah, it's time for a CJ Ham sandwich 3-yard touchdown run. That's definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I keep wanting to call him. There's a basketball player. He's now a Lakers coach called Darvin Ham.
Oh yeah, I remember Darvin Ham.
I was kind of scared. Like if I brought him up, I was kind of scared. I was like, I'm going to call this guy Darvin.
Wow, I forgot about Darvin Ham. Didn't he play for the Wizards?
I'm sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So now we're going to go to the Detroit Lions. 2-yard touchdown pass. It's the Sun God. No. Oh, it's a tight end. So it must be Mitchell again. No. It's always the wrong one you start. I told my brother-in-law to pick one of them and keep them or drop both of them. I told him to drop both of them, but he kept Mitchell. Oops. It's Brock Wright.
Yeah.
And so unless you guessed right on the two guys that it might be filling the Hawkinson role of nothing, that is probably a
surefire waste of a touchdown. But to a bigger note, why is Justin Jackson playing and DeAndre Swift is on the team?
Because DeAndre Swift's terrible.
Evidently.
He got me to like him. I was offering crazy trades to get him, and I'm glad nobody took him.
This is nonsense. Why? Unless if he's not healthy, I mean, fine. But everybody says he's healthy, or he says he's healthy. Why is Justin Jackson playing? Doesn't make any sense. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, Swift is terrible, so he'll be.
Right.
Hey, carry on my wayward son. Okay, let's go to the Chiefs. 13-yard touchdown pass must be Tony. No, a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, Kelson. Wait, Noah Gray? 13-yard touchdown pass? Wow, we know who he is, but we're not playing that dude, so that's definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown.
Now I got two guys who I've never heard of in my entire life, and I do rankings every week. Let's go to the New York Giants. 9-yard touchdown pass. I should have checked what even position this dude plays because I have no clue. From Daniel Jones. So since we know Bellinger is hurt, we know it's not Saquon. It's Lawrence Cager. Who in the world is that? Yeah. If you're listening on the podcast, JJ Wang's face just went to like, I've never even, like, some weeks we might pretend like we've never heard of somebody, but this dude, I have no clue who in the world he is. So sorry, Lawrence Cager. I hope you success. But for this week, you were definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I don't know who you are, dude. But
So,
hey,
Russell,
hey, you're on the show. Congratulations.
yeah, you made it. All five people.
Made it to the big time, bro.
You're on the big time. You're being heard
Hey,
by tens and tens of people.
Feel free to come on the show at any time. We will support you for your entire career, my friend.
Hashtag Lawrence Cager will be there. You are welcome to come. We will tout you. You tell us your history, backstory, and we will apologize. Okay, let's go to Russell Wilson. We have another receiver with 66 yards. So that might explain the team. All the numbers are sixes in this team. Maybe they are just destined. But yeah, so there we go. Jerry Jeudy got hurt. Oh man, luckily it's a low ankle sprain for Jerry Jeudy. It must be Cortland Sutton. No. Oh, it's gonna be my boy Dulcet. No. Who in the world is Jalen Virgil? There are a gajillion receivers on this team, and I've never heard of Jalen Virgil with a 66 yards touchdown. That's for sure.
A surefire waste of a touchdown. But Jalen Virgil, offer is open to you as well, my friend. You've come on the show. We'll celebrate your first appearance.
Yeah, man. Like you're thinking Hamler. You're thinking. I mean, there's just names down there that we've heard of. Nope. Whatever. Okay, let's go to Tennessee. We got a twofer. So we got 2 for touchdowns, a 9-yard touchdown pass from Tannehill, 63-yard touchdown pass from Tannehill. That honestly sounds like a Hilliard kind of line, but nope, not Hilliard. Oh, it's got to be Robert Woods coming out. No. Oh, Traden Burks' first week. No, it's a guy who we had hopes for at one point. Everybody probably had him, dropped him, had him, dropped him, had him, dropped him. But Nick Westbrook-Ikhine with 2. For sure, unless you're in dire straits, those would be
surefire waste of a touchdowns, and he will be added by everybody again.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not gonna show here next time. Even if he does it, it's still a waste because you're not gonna play him next week. Let's be honest. And now we're gonna go to Arizona. Arizona has no Kyler this week. That was the game of terribleness. I couldn't even I had it on the screen. I just couldn't look at it because I was like, man, how can you have 2 starting quarterbacks out? Colt McCoy back in the saddle, 6-yard touchdown pass to DeAndre. Nope. Oh, by the way, on injury news, Zach Ertz is done for the season-ending IR. Sad for him. But if you got Trey McBride, if not, get him. But no, 6-yard pass. Oh, dude, it's 2000. Oh my goodness, it's 2013. AJ Green, 6-yard touchdown pass. But in 2022, that's definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. Hey, congratulations, AJ Green, man.
I wonder who still has him on their team.
AJ Green, if you want to come on the show, I'll keep supporting you if you want to come on the show too.
I'll pay him to come on the show.
I won't pay you, but hey, we'll keep your name alive.
We'll give him a T-shirt. We're getting the T-shirt soon. We'll give him a T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll give you a T-shirt.
Those are my surefire wastes because the rest of it was chalk. But yeah, give us some wisdom. Let's get out of here. I think we talked a long time today.
All right, it's time to buckle down. Season, I hate to say it, but the regular season is almost over. We're in the last quarter. It's time to focus, get your mind right. If you're going after a championship, good luck. Buckle down. You know, there are still some trade deadlines open, so make sure you're getting those in. As always, trust yourself and trust the process.